glad to have you on MRIU TV. This is Pokopoko News. Such as Douglas. Let's have the news headlines. ISIL group claims blast that killed 4 in Afghanistan. Dozens of miners killed in fire inside Kazakhstan coal mines. New York police arrest hundreds after Israel-Hamas protest at Grand Central. Amazon drought exposes prehistorical rock carving. Sunni Muslim group says on Telegram that it used parcel bomb to target sports club in Kabul. Let's have more details by Binojo James.
The ISIL armed group has claimed responsibility for a blast at a sports club that killed 4 people in Afghanistan capital. The hardline Sunni Muslim group said on its Telegram channel on Friday that it used a parcel bomb that ISIL fighter placed in a room where, in brackets, Shia Muslims gather. The explosion occurred Thursday evening at a commercial center in the Dashtebachi neighborhood of Kabul, an enclave of the historically oppressed Shia Hazara community, according to the police. Police were still investigating the cause of the explosion, Kabul police spokesman Khalid Zadran said on Friday afternoon in a message to reporters. He added that 7 people were injured in the blast, revising the initial toll of 2 dead and 9 injured. The explosion ripped through a sports club several stories up in the commercial center, blowing out all the sides of the space and shattering windows and causing damage throughout the block. Journalists with the AFP news agency witnessed on Friday. An instructor at the club, which holds training in combat sports, told AFP the blast happened at the end of a busy boxing session that usually hosted some 30 people. The explosion was extraordinarily strong. The walls fell, the metal doors, glass, and windows were broken, said 26-year-old Sultan Ali Amiri, who was not in the club when the blast occurred. There has been a lot of damage, punching bags and almost everything is destroyed, he said.
Rescue operation underway to find missing miners in the wake of methane explosion at a mine owned by steel giant ArcelorMittal. Let's have more details. At
least 42 mine workers have been killed in a fire at a Kazakhstan coal mine on Saturday, operated by ArcelorMittal Temiratau, according to the Ministry of Emergency Situations, after what appeared to be a methane blast at the Kostenko mine had been evacuated, with 18 needing medical assistance, the company said in a statement on Saturday evening. Search and rescue efforts continued for the remaining 4 miners through the next day. Kazakhstan's Ministry for Emergency Situations posted on social media on Sunday morning. The search operation is hampered by the presence of destroyed mining equipment as well as rubble in some places, the ministry said in a statement. Rescuers are searching for miners in 2 areas of the mine 4 kilometers apart, it said. This is the deadliest such incident in Kazakhstan's post-Soviet history. The Kostenko coal mine, located in the city of Karuhandi, is operated by ArcelorMittal Temiratau, the local unit of Luxembourg-based multinational Arcelormittal, the world's second-largest steel producer. Investigators are working to determine the causes of the incident and any safety violations at the coal mine.
A glance at the AIM regionalism empowerment. When you take a sport or either take a deep look at the way the AIM regionalism department is devoted to the practice. It is hands-on to every participant and backed by the well-stocked studios of Royal FM and AIM TV. The department has fed the group of practice with outstanding personnel backed by professionals in the practice, and it is seen from the products of the different students. Take a glance at every sector. The Royal FM has all the required machines and personnel to release a well-backed student. The Emerald TV now has some of the most competitive programs in the media world. It is Mutesa One Royal University Journalism Department.
Welcome back from our international break. Now we are moving on with the news in details. Dozens of mostly Jewish protesters staged a sit-in on the station main concourse calling for a Gaza ceasefire.
Hundreds of protesters have been arrested after a sit-in on the main concourse of New York Grand Central Station, one of the city's major transport hubs, demanding for a ceasefire between Israel and Hamas. The protesters wearing black t-shirts reading "Ceasefire" and "Not in our name" unfurled banners calling for freedom for Palestinians and an end to the bombardment of Gaza. "No more weapons, no more war. Ceasefire is what we're fighting for," they chanted, punching the air. Banners were hung from the concourse's sweeping staircase and across the departures board. "Mourn the dead and fight like hell for the living," read one. The New York Police Department said it had arrested at least 200 protesters at the rally, which led to the temporary closure of the station. The anti-war group Jewish Voice for Peace, JVP, which organized the demonstration, put the number of arrests at more than 300. JVP said thousands have been taking part in what it described as emergency sit-in. Hundreds of Jews and allies are getting arrested in what is likely the biggest mass civil disobedience NYC has seen in 2 decades, the group wrote in a post on Instagram.
In Brazil, the worst drought in the tributaries of the Amazon River brings proclaimed local carving to light.
The Amazon region's worst drought in more than a century exposed human faces sculpted into stone up to 2,000 years ago. Human faces appeared on a rocky outcropping along the Amazon River since water levels dropped to record lows in the region's worst drought in more than a century. Some rock carvings have been sighted before, but now there is a greater variety that will help researchers establish their origins. Archaeologist Jaime de Santana Oliveira said this week. One area shows smooth grooves in the rock, thought to be where indigenous inhabitants once sharpened their arrows and spears long before Europeans arrived. The rocky point is called Ponto das Lajes, on the north shore of the Amazon, near where the Rio Negro and Solimões rivers join. Oliveira said the carvings were first seen there in 2010, but this year's drought has been more severe, with the Rio Negro dropping 15 meters since July, exposing vast expanses of rocks and sand where there had been no beaches. This time we found not just more carvings, but the sculpture of a human face cut into the rock, said Oliveira, who works for the National Historic and Artistic Heritage Institute that oversees the preservation of historical sites.
Please thank you for tuning on MRIU TV. This has been Pokopoko News of today, and stay tuned on MRIU TV. I'm Sechas Douglas.